What can you do if you need a book, an article, or some other item that the Tarleton libraries do not own? Well, we have a service called Interlibrary Loan where we can borrow materials on your behalf from other libraries outside of Tarleton. So you have a book or an article in mind and you've searched our collection and we don't own it. In that case, what you can do is from the library's website, go to Services, and underneath Services, you'll see a link that says Interlibrary Loan. When you click there, you will see a page that explains how the service works. But to make an Interlibrary Loan request, you want to click the Login to Interlibrary Loan button. Once we get there, you will need to log in with your Tarleton username and password. Typically, it'll be what you use to log into Canvas or the university email. Once you've logged in, you'll see your personal page here. And to make an Interlibrary Loan request, you need to click this gray Create Request button. The default is to request an article because that is the most common item that people are trying to get. And so if what you are trying to borrow is an article, then you will just leave it here and fill out everything that has an asterisk. For example, the journal title, the date it was published. If it doesn't have an asterisk, you can leave that blank. But if you do know that information, go ahead and put that in there. That can be very helpful, but if you don't, it's okay. The form will not submit unless you have filled out everything that has the asterisk. Couple of things to note on the bottom, need before date. That means I absolutely need it by this date. If you can't get it by that date, then I don't want it, basically. And so you select whatever date. If you've got an assignment coming up, maybe you want to do, a day or two before that assignment is due. Just be aware that Interlibrary Loan does take time. It can vary, but with articles, they typically will come in within 5 business days. If it is a book or some other physical item that's being mailed to us, it could take up to 2 weeks to get here. And again, that really does vary. So just keep that in mind. If your paper is due tomorrow, Interlibrary Loan is probably not going to work that fast. Another thing I want to point out is this little box that says amount willing to pay. Sometimes that concerns people. I recommend that you just go ahead and put a 0 there. It is very unlikely that you will be asked to pay any sort of fee, but occasionally the other lending libraries will require a fee for their materials. And if that happens, we will actually contact you first and ask your permission before we charge any fees. And it really doesn't matter what you put here. We will always contact you first if there's any possibility of fees involved. And if you give us permission to do so, we'll go ahead and get it, and then you'll pay the fee. Otherwise, if you're not willing to pay the fee, we won't get it for you. But like I say, that is extremely rare. I personally have used Interlibrary Loan many times, and I have never had to pay any fees. If the material you're trying to get is a book or anything that is not an article, you click the loan button, and again, you fill out everything that has an asterisk in the field. And once you have submitted that form, you will be contacted. If it's an article, typically you will log back in here to download the article once it's available. If it is a book or any other item that is mailed to us, you will be notified once it arrives, and you'll pick it up at your pickup location. So if you're based in Stephenville, you would pick it up at the main library here at Stephenville. If you are at one of our other locations, like Fort Worth, you can select Fort Worth as your pickup location, or any of these other locations.